We get a major Jacob Trouba trade update, and he rejected an offer to a division rival, and Chris Tanev speaks out on joining the Leafs. We're going to get into this later on this episode. Before we start, I just want to give a shout out to everyone that is subscribed. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, we'll be covering everything to do with the NHL all offseason into next season. So make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button. But with that, let's hop straight into the first topic today, which is Trouba almost traded to the Redwings. Now, we did get a report from Emily Kaplan in an interview on TSN, and she said there was a deal in place with the Red Wings, I was told, and Jacob used the power given to him in his contract, and he earned it to block it, and that's within his rights. Now, this is a huge report coming out. As we've heard multiple times, the New York Rangers are shopping around a guy like Jacob Trouba around the market, but he does have a no-trade list. So when you do look at a guy like Jacob Trouba in 69 games with the New York Rangers, 3 goals, 19 assists for 22 points. He's a stay-at-home defenseman. He's going to throw the body. He can throw the body hard as well. 6'3", and he is 30 years old. Now, when you are looking at this, we obviously had Elliot Freeman speak on the situation a little bit ago. The only thing I am reasonably certain on is that the whole situation that developed over the last week or two has been hard on Trouba. The Rangers may have decided for cap reasons that they have to do this, but that doesn't mean that Trouba is ready for this. So obviously a guy like Jacob Trouba just kind of being shopped by the New York Rangers might not sit good with them. Obviously, he has his reasons to wanting to stay in New York. But Casey, what's your thoughts on the situation, and what's your thoughts on him shutting down a trade, bringing him to the Red Wings?
Yeah, this is very interesting, Mark. I mean, when you think of the New York Rangers, at least when I do, I think of Jacob Trouba. He's like one of the staples of that New York Rangers team. And to hear them, shopping him for cap reasons, it's got to be hard on the guy. That guy's, been a staple of that blue line. He's been a staple of their success. He's been there when they've been losing. He's been there when they've been winning. He's always been here, and he's been a phenomenal defenseman. Like you said, this guy's electric. He doesn't just hit people; he lays them out, and he can also get down and block those shots as well. He's a tremendous right-handed shot defenseman, and just hearing that the Red Wings were going after this guy, it just seems like Stevie Y and the Red Wings are gearing up to be a playoff team, and that starts by adding Jacob Trouba because he's such a great defenseman that a lot of teams are going to want this guy, but he is within his rights here to shut this trade down. I'm sure he has a nice little family for himself here now in New York over his time spent there, and he doesn't want to leave his home, it seems like, Mark.
Yeah, so the biggest thing is obviously the Rangers want to get more cap space. As you can see, Jacob Trouba is the second highest paid defenseman on the Rangers blue line, making $8 million this season, $8 million into next season. The biggest thing with this is, as you can see, they still have 3 defensemen not signed in Chad Rudweedle. You have a guy like Ryan Liljegren. You have so many guys within this organization yet to be signed, and that's not even looking at next season. Next season, you have guys like Riley Smith, Kakko, Lafreniere, Rempe, Keandre Miller, and Shesterkin, all going into UFA or RFA. So clearly with the Rangers only having $8 million in projected cap right now, 3 defensemen still yet to be signed, and all these free agents going into next year, it does seem like they're a little bit worried about that. And the biggest thing is, Casey, obviously it seems like he doesn't want to go to the Red Wings. We know Stevie Yzerman wants to build something with the Red Wings, but could you see Trouba maybe going to another team if, just say, a powerhouse team offered him a contract or offered a trade for him?
Yeah, it depends on the team, I think, in the situation. I think the Red Wings and Rangers have kind of been rivals, and going from a team where you've played so much and played hard against because they're one of your rivals to then go play for them, that's gonna be tough, especially for Jacob Trouba. So it does make sense, like you said, he's $8 million on the contract right now. He's just listed a big old bunch of names that are going to need contracts next season, so it makes sense for them to want to move cap. It's just the way that the sport works. It's the business behind hockey. But, he's well within his rights here, like I said, to decline any trade where he doesn't want to go. But, if one of those big shark teams come knocking at your door, a team that, is looking to compete for a Stanley Cup, I think he may waive this clause to get a chance to raise the cup.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of family reasons on why we see Trouba rejecting this, but it is really going to come down to how he's feeling. I mean, he does have his no trade clause. He has full power in this, and like we said, and like Emily Chaplin said on her interview, this is his right. He earned it to block stuff like this. Obviously, it might not sit right with Rangers management, with the staff, but overall, they give him this contract. Trouba has proven that he is a part of this team. There are a lot of reports saying that they do expect Trouba to come back, but the biggest thing with this is with so many offers coming in, maybe it's a matter of time before Trouba moves on to his next team. Maybe he wins the Stanley Cup. But what's your thoughts, Rangers fans? What's your thoughts, Red Wings fans? Were you guys hoping this trade went through? Were you hoping for something else? Obviously, the details on what the offer was hasn't come out, but it is quite interesting to see that teams are making big offers on a guy like this. But we'll get straight into the second topic today, which is Chris Tanev speaks out. Chris Tanev, who just newly acquired by the Toronto Maple Leafs and newly signed to a 6-year extension, did come out and speak on his time just coming into Toronto. I enjoyed it a lot. My family enjoys it, definitely proud to be a Canadian, and it's going to be awesome to play for Toronto. It comes with high expectations. I think the market here is a lot bigger than Calgary, and Vancouver is probably in the middle between the two. There are so many little steps that you need to achieve as a team to be able to get close to where you want to play at the end of the year. Obviously, this was Chris Tanev on Overdrive, just speaking on how he felt joining the Toronto Maple Leafs after being rumored to be joining them for what felt like 3 seasons. Now, obviously, looking at a guy like Chris Tanev, he played 75 games in the NHL this season with a split between Calgary and Dallas. 2 goals, 17 assists, 19 points, 56 shots. He had 45 hits, 207 blocks, and at 6'2", I think saying he is one of the best shutdown defensemen would be underselling him. This guy is an elite shutdown defenseman, even at the age of 32. Now, the biggest thing with Chris Tanev, and when you really do look at his stats, is how long he's played. Yes, he is 32 years old. Yes, he hasn't had many seasons where he cracked over 70 games played, but Tanev did come out and speak on everyone just kind of talking about his injuries. He said, "I think I'm a lot better player." Tanev said, "Trainers have done a great job of protecting me in the area that I was prone to getting hurt in those couple of years. I think I played the most of my career in the last half of this year. I think this year is the best I've played in my career." Now, this is awesome to see from Chris Tanev coming out after signing a huge extension with the Toronto Maple Leafs, getting him on this team for 6 years from now. Obviously, Chris Tanev will have a bit of wear and tear in his body, but the Toronto Maple Leafs have an awesome medical staff. But Casey, what's your thoughts on Tanev just speaking out on joining the Leafs and him saying he thinks he's playing the best hockey he's ever played?
Yeah, this is great things to hear if you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan because we were all so excited to get him into Toronto for, like you said, it felt like 3 seasons that this trade rumor was going on. But it's great to hear that he's feeling good and he feels like he's playing the best in his career. And we've seen this with defenseman another Leafs defenseman, Mark Giordano, who came into his prime late into his career. And it looks like Tanev with 200 plus blocks last season is just getting into that elite tier of shutdown defenseman. Like you said, he's going to be a guy who grabs the hearts of Toronto Maple Leafs fans really quick in Toronto, and I'm really excited to see him start. Like he said, he knows he's going to be in the big spotlight. It's a bigger market than a Calgary and then a Vancouver, but he's proud to be Canadian. He thinks he's playing the best in his career, and that's all great news to hear if you're Toronto Maple Leafs fans.
And Tanev actually did go on and kind of talk about how he played with Riley in the Nations of Hockey, just speaking on how they had a tiny bit of chemistry. So getting a guy like this that will 100% be injected into the top pairing, being the top right-handed defenseman and being the number one shutdown guy is going to be exciting for a guy like Tanev, especially coming home and playing in Toronto. But Leafs fans, what's your thoughts on this Tanev deal? What's your thoughts on him speaking out saying this is the best hockey he has played and he's at the age of 32? Let us know down in the comments. But speaking on comments, let's get into everyone's favorite topic, which is comment of the day. Comment today comes from Lynx, and they say Hunter time, Leafs, and obviously this topic, Hunter, who used to be a part of the Leafs organization, obviously he joined the London Knights and the Leafs did not bring him back. But now that they lost a guy in Wes Clark, maybe they do look to bring Hunter back. I mean, I want to make the joke that he'll continue to draft more London Knights, but it feels like we already have so many of them. Domi, Mitch Marner, and a guy like Stolars is actually a part of the team when they won. So maybe we'll see Hunter join the organization again, draft more London Knights. I mean, he got Mitch Marner when he was with the Leafs, so maybe he can work his magic as well. But what's your guys' thoughts on everything we talked about in this video? If you do want to leave a comment, you could be featured on the next next episode is coming today. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back today or tomorrow with another video, so make sure to turn on your post notifications so you never miss another one. But I've been your host, Mark Pye, with my co-host, KC. Take care.